First and foremost, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect out there, the brother that's pushing his work and his best with his truth and sincerity. Shalom. This is your brother Kanaya, learning under the banner of GMS Louisiana Saints. All right. I wanted to do a little sit down from camp, for last camp we had Monday. All right. It had a Jake out there. You know, we was breaking the scriptures down to him, you know, going into the precepts of what was going on today. All right. Asking him what's your nationality and so forth. All right. I wanted to play a little bit of the video, and then I got a couple precepts I wanted to bring out, you know.
Around it. You agree with that? So-called white man, he put the laws in the earth. He holds the money system. All right, you're not in reality. Come on, let's go.
Wait. Let us process of elimination.
All right. If he don't rule the world, who does?
And give him a couple of
If he rule the world, now you're talking on both sides of the neck.
No. I'm gonna explain to you. You have something to do with it, man. It ain't just him.
I don't have no power. You don't have no power.
You don't have to
If I had power, if I had power, I would have my children in my custody.
Your power is your knowledge.
And hey, hear me out. If I had power, the only thing in this life a man has is the Most High's word, his brothers, and his children. If I had power, my children would be in my custody. The so-called white man say, I can't have my children.
And let me say
Go ahead. What happens if I go take my children from my baby mama? What's going to happen to me?
Take your children from your baby mama. You do what's best. You know what I'm saying? You do the best. You sure you make the best.
He ain't in reality, man. Let's bring it out.
Isaiah 16:2. Bring it.
All right. And I got this precept, all right. This is the topic of the day, all right. This lesson is, you know, lean not on your own understanding, all right. And this is Proverbs 3, chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, with all thine heart. And that word heart goes into thy mind. And lean not unto thy own understanding. All right. And that's what this Jake was going into, all right. When the prophet was, my brother Yaquab, was bringing it out, asking him simple questions. He didn't have an answer to them. All right. He was saying what he think, going by his own understanding. He was leaning on his own understanding. All right. And skip down to verse 7. It say, be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. All right. He has no fear in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. He has no fear whatsoever. He was leaning on his own understanding. He didn't even know his nationality. We was breaking the scriptures down. We asked the guy how he felt about homosexuality, and he felt like that, it's somebody, it's okay that they're homosexual. It's you're not supposed to hate them if they are homosexual. He's had no clear understanding. All right, this is like Proverbs 1 and verse. Okay, I'm going to start at verse 6. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. All right. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. All right. And that's what this character was. This Jake here was. He was a fool because he despised the wisdom of instructions. All right. And he has no fear in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. Because the Lord, the Lord sent us out to do these things to our people, all right? To go outside and prophesy of who they are, who the so-called devil is, this Esau, even so-called white man, and bring you back to the power, all right? This is Titus, all right? Chapter 1, and start at 13. And it said, this is Titus chapter 1 and verse 13. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith. Verse 14, not giving heed to Jewish fables. All right. And when you say Jewish, that's like Jew-like. All right. That's like them gutter rats over there in our land calling themselves Jewish. All right. And the fables is what their philosophies and you know their ways of life and deceiving the mind of the people, all right, the masses, and commandments of men, all right, that turn from the truth, all right. And that's what this Jake is, right? He's being rebuked. You know, we're rebuking him sharply. You know that that may be sound in the faith, all right. But he's given to heed of the Jewish fables and the commandments of men, all right, the so-called white man, and that's turning him from the truth, all right. That's turning him from the truth. He has no understanding. He's lost. He's sleep blind, all right. This is Salakia, another precept. Because Jacob had no understanding. He clearly couldn't answer the questions when we was on the highways and byways. You know, asking him, we'll bring out a precept, and then we'll ask him, you know, what he think, you know, what was true or untrue to him and how he felt about it. And he wasn't agreeing with the scripture. He was going by his own understanding. The 2 Timothy 4:2. It says, all right, and this is what Yahweh Shema Shai got his men of the Lord willing, we are of that number, prophesying, all right. This is 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine, all right. And that's what we do. We reprove you, you know, we rebuke you, and we give you that sound doctrine, all right, that long suffering, that sound doctrine, all right. Because he sent us out there just for this reason, all right, because our people have no knowledge and they have no wisdom in them, all right. We go out on the highways and byways to bring you back to that faith, you know, the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And you know, most of these jakes, they refuse to turn back to the power, all right. This is Isaiah chapter 42 verse 6, all right. It reads, this is Isaiah 42 and 6. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and I will hold thy hand, and I will keep thee and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. All right. Now, who is those Gentiles? The Gentiles talking about, you know, our people, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there that's following the ways of these other nations and the so-called white man. They became Gentiles. All right. Verse 7, to open the blind eyes, all right? That's what we're doing. We're going out on the highways and byways to open up you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American eyes up to the truth, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, all right? Because you in that blind state of mind, your mind is in captivity, all right? As well as we in a physical captivity under Esau, you know, the so-called white man's rule, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison houses, all right. And that's that darkness that's covering your mind, your eyes, you're blind, all right. That's that darkness, all right. And we trying to bring your mind out that prison state of thinking, all right. This is a book of Proverbs, because this guy here, he his mind is wrapped up in chains, he's in darkness. It was no light in him. Shalakia. It was no light in him at all. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 15 and 32. Proverbs 15 and 32. All right, it reads, he that refuses instruction despises his own soul. All right, and that's what it was. He was refusing instruction. So he despised his own soul. All right, that means he cannot be saved. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. But when he was hearing the instruction, he despised of his own soul. But when we was out there reproving them, you know, and rebuking them, trying to convert them back to the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. He did not get no understanding about what was going on, what we was preaching. He had no understanding. He was leaning on his own understanding. All right. Well, I brought out Proverbs 3 in chapter 3 and verse 5. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 8. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. All right. He received no wisdom. He didn't give a damn about his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good, but he had no understanding, so he shall not find any good. All right. That's why he in the condition he's in, living on the streets. You know, smelling like he was stinking like a mug out there, Akim. All right. And to you believers out there, you have to have fear in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to get that knowledge and that wisdom and understanding, all right? When you fear in the Lord, that's how you gain that knowledge, wisdom, understanding, like I brought in Proverbs 1:7, or chapter 1 and verse 7, all right? I'll read that again. Proverbs 19 and verse 8. And it says that he that giveth wisdom loveth his own soul, but he that keepeth understanding shall find good, and he have not found any good, because he did not hearken to the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. And bring that precept out again. That's Proverbs 3. End it off with this. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, which goes into your mind, and lean not unto thy own understanding. And that's what that young man did on the highways and byways, all right? He leaned on his own understanding, right? Because he has what? It's Proverbs chapter 1. Go back to that. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And that's exactly what that Jake did. He despised the wisdom. He despised the instruction, and he had no fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in him, and he was out there leaning on his own understanding. And I hope it was edifying to Yakim out there and to your believers. And I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Wakakwadas, double honor to the elders, Apostle Great Millstone. Salutations to the brethren out there, the whole elect that's pushing this work at its best with truth and sincerity. Till the next time I say, Shalom.